Hello, welcome to the B-side with Greg Shelvey versus Peter Hsu. Peter Hsu is setting up to break. Um, Peter is a bit dismayed when he found out he was playing Greg Shelvey because Shelvey is an extremely good player in this league and he's a pretty good run-out artist. Give him a good layout and he will run it. Anyways, there's no shot for Peter. He's hooked himself on the 15. High ball looks really nice. Peter really wants to get high ball, but there's no clear shot anywhere. The only thing he can do is play safe because the last thing he wants to do is give Greg a clear shot. Chances are Greg will take high ball and run out the table because the high balls are very open and Greg has already accumulated six stats in the Summer League in a very limited number of games he played. So he definitely will run out of the table if you give it to him. So that's what Peter is trying not to do. Anyways, Greg does not have a shot either. The only shot he can see is the 5. Or possibly the 14. He could cut it to the bottom right corner, but that's a very tough shot, and the probability is pretty low. So I think the 5, the one ball looks pretty good to the top right corner. So Greg will take a low ball, even though the layout is not ideal, but he feels it's the only shot he has. The 5 collides with the 11 and stays over the pocket. And the table is open. Peter at last gets his chance. He still likes high ball, and he will take it. He would like to keep the cue ball in the center of the table. That's why he took the shot to the side rather than another shot. Unfortunately, he can't really see the 10 ball on the top left corner, which is what he wanted to get to. So he will take the 14. He bumped the 2 ball. What Peter's trying to do is draw back the from the 14 because that's the only way he could get back to the middle of the table. Any other shot, he will leave the cue ball down on the bottom of the table with no shot. So he's sizing up the 10 ball. He has to figure out where he wants to leave the cue ball so he can get to the 10. So he figures he only needs to draw back maybe a foot or so. So he's going to try to draw back for that much, but instead the cue ball goes back maybe 3 feet. So can he see the 10 ball? Yes, he can, but he can't really cut it in. He'll need to spin the ball in, so he'll have to do a massé shot. He'll have to hit on the bottom left corner of the cue ball and spin the 10 in, which he does successfully. The next shot is the 14, the green 14. Anyways, but he also needs to kick out at the 9 ball and the 11 ball. So what he will do is put top right, and the cue ball kicks into the 3. And Pete has a shot at the 9, but the 11 ball is problematic. So Peter needs to hold the cue ball near the top end of the table. So he's going to do a very soft center left shot. He put left, so the cue ball, when it hits the rail, it slows down. So the shot was very successful. The cue ball stayed near the top right end of the table, and he has a good clean shot to the bottom left corner, and he will do a center shot. And well, the cue ball almost got away, but he still has a nice angle on the 8 ball. And I need Peter is really nervous, but he needs to keep his cool and do the shot the way he has done it during practice. Anyways, Peter wins that one, and Greg comes to the table for game number 2. And Greg gets to break. Very nice break, except I don't think anything went in. The cue ball is left on the bottom right end of the table, which is not Peter's favorite position. He has trouble getting the ball off the rail. In this view, Peter can't really get a shot at any ball except for the 13, but he can't take it to the corner, so he will try to cut it into the side. It's a very thin cut, and Peter has trouble getting enough tip on the cue ball. So, and Peter misses. He cut it too fat, and the table is still open, and high ball looks very nice. If Greg could get a high ball in, he should be ducky. So Greg is looking at the 13. Greg shoots very straight, and the 13 should pose no problem for him. Very nice dead straight shot from Greg. And Greg should have no trouble running out the table. The only problem is the 8 ball. Greg needs to kick into the pile and somehow loosen out the 8 ball so he could run out the table. So the question right now is how to do it. Shall he do it now, or shall he use another ball? Greg bumps the 7. Peter says, please leave it, it's okay. So Greg is going to use another ball, I guess, because he obviously decided not to break it out just yet, because he doesn't have the proper angle, I guess, and he doesn't have the proper angle right now either. So he will shoot to see the 9. I believe the 9 is at the top rail. And the question is, can he break out the 8 using the 9? And I think the angle is a bit, well, it's the wrong angle. He could, but there's a good chance he will hook himself should he try for breakout. So Greg goes for another ball. The problem is he's running out of breakout balls, so he needs to make an attempt to break out pretty soon. So I think he's going to do it right now. He's putting inside top, which will kick the cue ball into the 8, and beautiful shot. The 8 ball is sitting nicely on the top left corner, ready to be sunk. So all Greg needs to do is pot the 10, and well, he missed. And worst of all, he kicked the 10 ball right into the pile of solids near the top of the table, and Peter is pretty relieved about it, because now he can afford to miss, and Greg won't be able to run out the table, because he can't really do anything with that ball. So, but Peter still needs to break out the 5 and the 2, and he gives himself a very nice angle using the 6, and he will do the breakout right now. And the trick is not to shoot too hard, or else he will lose control of the cue ball. And he just needs to nudge the 1 ball away, and which he doesn't. He does nudge the 3, but not the 2. The 1. I'm sorry. The 1 remains stuck to the high ball. So I think the high ball is a 14. Looks like a 14. I can't tell from my monitor. Anyways, if I call the wrong ball, please forgive me. I'm slightly colorblind. I found that out. So sometimes that ball looks green. Sometimes it looks blue even. Anyways, so Peter's gonna go. He's gonna play chicken now. He's thinking about breaking out the 1 using backspin on the 3, but there's a good chance he'll just kick Greg's ball towards the pocket. So that's what he doesn't want to do. So he will elect to let Greg break it out for him. That's his chicken strategy. So he's calling a no call, and he hooks Greg on the 13, the red stripe one. But Greg goes for the 13 anyways. It looks safe enough. Nobody really wants to sink anything at this point until the 1 and the 14 ball is broken out. And Peter does not want to do any breaking out right now. He figures he'll force his opponent to do it because, well, that's part of his chicken strategy, which works well against most players except for the top flight players like Terry Erie, who's pretty gutsy, and he would go for it. And a lot of times it pays off. When Terry goes for a ball, he does good breakouts. So, anyways, Peter parks the 7 ball near the corner in anticipation of a breakout. So it's a bit too close to the corner, but anyways, Greg is thinking of breaking his ball out, but there's no way. And Greg doesn't really want to sink his 11 ball. So what Greg will do is what Peter did, park his ball over the pocket and wait for a breakout. Except Greg sewers the cue ball in doing so, giving Peter ball in hand. And Peter is licking his lips in anticipation. All he has to do is pocket the 1, roll it forward enough so he could see the 7, and then bring the cue ball back to the middle of the table. But to do this, he has to put top, and he double hits the cue ball. Oh boy, what a disaster! What a disaster, I tell you. Instead of winning the game, Peter gives the driver's seat to Greg, and Greg should have no trouble finishing off this game. Peter is kicking himself right now, but it has to do with the heat and the pressure. It's pretty hot at the Avalanche Bar and Grill, and tempers tend to not be well, it tends to be pretty short, and people are really under pressure to win. It's a race to 2, and as soon as you lose one game, the other guy's on the hill. So the pressure to win is incredible, and it does affect strong players, I notice. So anyways, Greg is keeping his cool here, and he methodically takes out his balls to win game number 2. Well, you can see the relief on Greg's posture. Anyways, Peter gets to break game number 3. Can Peter come back and take the game and the match? Peter breaks. He does his Shane Van Boning break, which he's been practicing, having watched a tutorial on how Shane Van Boning breaks, and it seems to be working right now. He seems to be getting more balls off the break than he used to. So the question right now is the high ball or the low ball. Peter would love to have high ball. Unfortunately, he can't really get a good shot. He could try for the 10 ball to the top right corner, but it's a low percentage shot for him. Right now he's under pressure, so he really needs an easy ball to hit. And what he wants to do is keep control of the table. He cannot, at this point, give the table to Greg. Greg will definitely do serious damage and run out the table. So Peter will elect to take low ball, even though the 5 and the 6 and the 4 is pretty sucky, and the 1 is particularly bad. Peter tries to draw back into the 1 but misses. But fortunately for Peter, he gets to see the 6. These are his big trouble balls, and if he could run them out, he will be in a much better position. And Peter draws back to bump the 1 out. A very good shot, I'd say. And now he has access to the 5 and the 4. So he will shoot the 5 to the top right corner and kick the 4 ball into the top left rail pocket, I mean. And Peter is using his home contraption. It's a rake top that he got from Rose, and the handle is a $3 mop from the dollar store, and it's working very nicely. So anyways, Peter gets a 5 in, and he can't see the 3 at the bottom right corner. He can see a sliver of the 4 ball. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have the natural angle to cut it in. So what Peter's going to do is do a semi-masse with lots of bottom inside and very slow shot. He wants the inside spin to take place. If he shot it any harder, he would have missed. So anyways, he basically spun it in, and now he's stuck with a combo, and he has to be very, very precise on this shot to get the combo in. And unfortunately, both balls went in, and Peter now has no way to get back to the 8 ball. Peter considers cutting it straight in or doing the carom. He decides a cut shot might be better than the carom. Or it could be both. He might carom off the 8 ball anyways. The other ball. So he's called the top right corner, and it does not go in. And the 8 ball is in a pretty bad position. Greg can easily hook Peter from almost any part of the table because of the screening 10 ball. And we'll see how Greg does this. Greg should be able to run this out. He's done it in the past. And Greg brings the cue ball all the way up table. And very nicely done. The only problem ball he has right now is the 10. So he needs to bring the cue ball to where the 10 can be pocketed. So the question is, will he do it now or will he do it later? And that wasn't a very happy shot. I think Greg overshot that one. He doesn't have an easy shot. The 15 is blocked. I believe that's a 15, the green one, green stripe one. So Greg could try to cut the 13 in, but it's a very risky shot. He could miss and give Peter a shot at the 8, which is what he doesn't want to do. So Greg will play safe and hook Peter. And Peter has two choices here. He can kick at the 8. He can kick it from the top rail, or he could kick it from the right long rail. But Peter would like to keep the cue ball near a corner pocket, so he's going to kick on the long right rail. And hopefully Peter calls the corner pocket. So Peter's going to shoot soft, so if he misses, the 8 ball will stay near the corner pocket. Peter missed, and well, it's a clean run-out layout for Greg. This should be easy for him, but this is a very tense match. He needs to run out these balls perfectly to win, and here's where steady nerves of steel come into play. And very nice shot. Now the question is, which ball will he take? Greg is playing well, he's trying to build in a safety into every shot, so should he miss for some reason, Peter won't be able to see the 8, so he decided instead of cutting it to the side, he will cut to the corner. This way the cue ball will bounce back to the top end of the table, which is obviously a mistake because he overshot, and now he doesn't really have a good angle on the 15. The shot is still doable, but it's a low percentage shot, and the cue ball could end up anywhere. So Greg's not too happy. So what is Greg to do? Well, personally, I would cut the 15 in the corner and be done with it. But Greg decides to play a safety and wait for a better opportunity to run out. So Peter doesn't see anything. He can clip the 8, and that's all he can do. So he's going to do it very softly because he wants the cue ball over the corner pocket. Greg doesn't really have a shot here. He could cut it into the corner, but if he misses, Peter gets the game. It's that simple. The pressure on Greg is incredible now. Anyways, he will need to play a safety. And he will try to hook Peter. Greg is taking his time because, well, this is it. He either wins or he doesn't. So Bruce is on the next table against Alvin, I believe. So, yep. Well, good for you, Bruce. You pocketed a ball. Anyways, Greg decides he wants to do a safety. And Greg does a very nice safety. The 8 ball is over the pocket. Peter needs to get it in. In his experience, he tends to overbank and sewer, but he undercuts this time and misses. And no rail. Oh boy. This is disaster. Greg gets ball in hand.
Oh no! Oh no!
2 easy balls and Greg wins. Peter is praying Peter is shutting his eyes. Peter is pooping his pants. And gives himself an extremely bad angle on the 15. The reason why it's a bad angle is that there's a good chance he'll hook himself. Sewer his cue ball into the top right corner. Should he try to cut the 15? This is very bad news for Greg. He can't believe what he just did. It should have been a normal, easy run out for most players, including Greg. Yeah, if this was practice, he would have done the 3-ball run out in his sleep. But right now, oh man, that's what pressure does, folks. It really, really destroys your thinking. And it's happened to Peter a lot of times, even against C players. Peter has lost many games because, well, he choked basically. Anyways, Greg decides he will do a safety instead of trying to pocket the ball. So Greg will try to hook Peter again. Maybe bumping his 15 into the 8-ball. And hopefully Peter won't be able to shoot the 8. Well, Greg decides to commit. And well, Peter gets an angle. Very slim angle. It's a very hard shot, actually. Peter decides to put on his magical lucky hat. And usually this shot results in the cue ball going all the way back down the table to the bottom left corner, which is a disaster. So Peter remembers this. It's happened to him several times in the last year. So what Peter will do is cut the 8 in, but also put a bit of right spin. So when the cue ball goes all the way down, it will miss the bottom left corner pocket. And well, the cue ball went off